On the morning of November 10, 2015, a vehicle was parked outside a residence on Sunnyfield Court. Davy Blackburn had just returned from his regular workout at the gym. As he was about to exit the car, a phone call prompted him to remain inside for a few additional minutes. After concluding the call, he stepped out of the vehicle and proceeded to enter the house. Upon opening the door, he was taken aback, and his gym bag slipped from his grasp. His wife was lying on the living room floor, surrounded by a pool of blood. Overcome with confusion and shock, Davy hurried to his beloved wife, conducted a brief examination, checked for a pulse, and urgently called emergency services. The young woman was still alive. The living room, where the tragedy unfolded, was in disarray, with items strewn about and Amanda's purse emptied. Meanwhile, a small child was heard crying from the second floor. Emergency responders arrived within 8 minutes, cordoning off the area as police officers and investigators filled the house. The victim was swiftly transported to the hospital, later identified as 28-year-old Amanda Blackburn. To provide a comprehensive account of this tragic event, it is essential to recount the details surrounding Amanda's life. Born Amanda Grace Boers on July 31, 1987, in Muskegon, Michigan, she attended school in Indianapolis, Indiana, before her family relocated to Elkhart in 1995. There, Amanda graduated from Elkhart Christian Academy in 2006 and, by 2008, had earned an associate's degree from Pensacola Christian College in Pensacola, Florida. Amanda was raised in a deeply rooted family environment. Amanda grew up in a devout Christian family where the teachings of the Bible held great significance. Her father served as the lead pastor at the First Baptist Church in Elkhart, Indiana. From a young age, Amanda memorized the church's traditions, sermons, and hymns, honoring them with unwavering devotion. While her peers were eager to embrace adulthood, attending parties, and exploring romantic relationships, Amanda found her joy in her faith and aspired to serve Jesus. She believed that God cherished her, having created her in the image of an angel, an ethereal, blonde-haired girl with a warm smile and genuine intentions. Amanda's character was as admirable as her appearance. Her thoughts and heart were pure. In her teenage years, she made a vow of chastity, committing to abstain from even kissing until marriage, a promise she upheld faithfully. However, her heart raced when she encountered her true love, Davy Blackburn, a native of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. He was studying religion at Southern Wesleyan University and hailed from a similarly devout family. Their paths crossed on a blind date at a Hawk Nelson concert, arranged by her sister and Davy's best friend. Although they attended different colleges, they cherished their time together during vacations, nurturing a platonic love that was free from earthly desires. They enjoyed long walks, shared their deepest thoughts, and exchanged favorite passages from religious texts, finding joy in the simplest moments and sharing genuine laughter. Upon returning to school, Davy and Amanda engaged in a playful milkshake drinking contest, which Amanda ultimately lost. In a light-hearted manner, Davy referred to Amanda as a milk girl. As he gazed at her, he realized she was the woman he wished to marry. The couple maintained a long-distance relationship, frequently communicating through messaging platforms and spending hours on phone calls. During their vacations together, they approached their relationship with great reverence and tenderness, even seeking the guidance of a psychologist to enhance their communication skills. On August 1, 2008, Amanda and Davy Blackburn celebrated their marriage. Following the ceremony, Davy shared with friends that from the moment he kissed Amanda, he felt a divine connection between them, as if it were part of God's plan. For the first 4 years of their marriage, the Blackburns resided in South Carolina, where Davy served as an associate pastor at New Spring Church under Pastor Perry Noble. However, Davy aspired for more and proposed that Amanda relocate to Indianapolis to help establish a new church focused on youth. He took on roles as a youth pastor, production director, and assistant campus pastor. Although Amanda was initially hesitant to leave her family and friends in South Carolina, she eventually agreed after Davy expressed his belief that God had significant plans for them. In 2012, the Blackburns moved to Indianapolis to plant a prominent independent church on the north side, aimed at engaging young people. In the weekly videos shared on their website, the couple provided insights on relationship advice, conflict resolution, and biblical perspectives on intimate relationships. In 2014, they welcomed their first child, Weston Blackburn, and enjoyed a blissful family life. Residing in a comfortable home on a tranquil street, they were actively involved in their church, which attracted a vibrant community of young attendees. Their sermons resonated deeply, fostering a sense of harmony and understanding within their lives. However, the events of November 10, 2015, irrevocably altered their existence. Emergency medical teams arrived at the Blackburn home on Sunnyfield Court at approximately 8:00 a.m. A young pregnant woman was swiftly transported to the hospital, where she was placed on a ventilator and underwent various resuscitation efforts. Tragically, Amanda passed away the following day, along with her unborn daughter, who was to be named Evie Grace. Her passing elicited an outpouring of sympathy and prayers on social media, as friends, family, and even strangers expressed their grief publicly. On November 11, the day Amanda was officially pronounced dead, Davey issued a heartfelt statement, emphasizing that Amanda dedicated her life to loving and serving those around her. He noted that her mission was to share her faith in Jesus Christ, and he believed that through her death and enduring legacy, many more would come to embrace a saving faith in Christ. There is uncertainty regarding her desire for me to continue our endeavors here in Indy. I hold a strong conviction that God remains benevolent, transforming our misfortunes into victories, and that the most promising days are yet to unfold. Dave noted that the murder of the pregnant woman was not only a devastating blow to the entire Orthodox community but also a profound shock to the state as a whole. The public demanded justice for Amanda and her unborn child, insisting that the perpetrator be apprehended and held accountable. In his initial interview, Davey Blackburn recounted discovering his wife Amanda injured and unconscious on the living room floor. She was partially undressed, with her underwear nearby, lying face down in a pool of blood. The pastor informed investigators that he had left the house around 6:00 a.m. to go to the gym, leaving the door unlocked, a practice he admitted to regularly following. He expressed uncertainty about whether the assailants would have been deterred had he used the key, but it is evident that they would not have gained entry so easily, potentially allowing Amanda crucial time to call for help, which unfortunately did not occur. The attack resulted in Amanda sustaining 3 gunshot wounds, one of which was to her head. In the days following the crime, no arrests were made, and police quickly ruled out Davey Blackburn as a suspect in this tragic event. However, the trial transcripts include his testimony alongside that of Scott Floyd, the first emergency medical paramedic from the Indianapolis Fire Department, who arrived at the scene shortly thereafter. Davey's 911 call revealed that Davey Blackburn was found at the end of the driveway with blood on his hands when authorities arrived at the residence. Scott noted that Davey appeared remarkably calm during this time. According to Scott, Davey seemed confused about the situation involving his wife, Amanda, asserting that she was lying on the floor and that he was unable to rouse her. Davey stated that he returned home from the gym around 7:30 a.m. and continued a phone conversation with his friend Kenneth Wagner while in the driveway, occasionally stepping out to walk down the driveway and check through the front door window to see if their baby, Weston, was awake. He reported that he concluded his call and entered the house at 8:10 a.m., discovering Amanda face down on the floor. Initially, he believed she might be sick or unconscious. He contacted emergency services at 8:22 a.m., which meant there was a 12-minute delay in making the call. In an emergency, such a delay is significant. He repeatedly expressed his belief that something had gone awry with the pregnancy, speculating that Amanda may have become dizzy and fallen. However, it raises questions as to why he did not notice the brain matter located approximately 5 feet from her body after such a lengthy interval. Dr. Scott Floyd, an emergency room physician, testified that the blood on Amanda's head was coagulated, suggesting that the gunshot wound to her head had likely occurred a few hours prior, although these transcripts were not released to the public. Davey was questioned regarding his actions during this time. After contacting 911, he subsequently reached out to his father. The defense attorneys chose not to cross-examine Davey Blackburn. Authorities validated his account through surveillance footage from the gym, which confirmed he was not among the suspects. An autopsy performed on November 12 revealed that the woman had sustained a gunshot wound to the back of her head, in addition to a gunshot wound to her lower left arm that penetrated her biceps, and a through-and-through gunshot wound to her upper back. Furthermore, she exhibited multiple scratches on her left cheek, a split lip, and a missing lower tooth. These injuries suggested a potential struggle between Amanda and her assailant. A comprehensive investigation was initiated, which included reviewing CCTV footage from nearby streets and interviewing neighbors and acquaintances of the family. For instance, one neighbor reported hearing gunshots approximately 35 minutes after Davy departed the residence. Another neighbor, Reginald Townsell, remarked that their street was not the kind of neighborhood where a shooting would typically occur, expressing that the Blackburns did not deserve such a tragedy. The neighbors were taken aback, as they perceived the Blackburn family as kind and loving individuals. Given Amanda's injuries and the absence of her bank cards and MacBook bag, the initial hypothesis pointed towards a robbery. During the investigation, police discovered that on the morning of November 10, 2015, multiple emergency calls had been made reporting home invasions at different residences in proximity to the Blackburn home. At approximately 5:20 a.m., a woman reported that she had awoken to discover her cell phone, laptop, purse, and keys missing from her apartment, along with her car, which was absent from the parking lot. She noted that the sliding glass door to her apartment was ajar. 3 hours later, another woman reported a burglary at a residence on Sunnyfield Court, where an intruder had broken through the patio screen to gain entry. According to police reports, four televisions, a MacBook Pro, a Tiffany pearl necklace, a pink women's sweater, a remote control, a bag of oranges, and bedding were stolen from the home. Shortly thereafter, another resident of Sunnyfield Court contacted emergency services. Lieutenant Richard Arf of the Indianapolis Police Department indicated that authorities are investigating potential links between the homicide and other burglaries that occurred in the same neighborhood that morning. While police have not disclosed specific details regarding the investigation to maintain confidentiality, they have released images of potential suspects obtained from one of the burglarized residences, seeking public assistance in identifying them. Davy Blackburn expressed confidence in the police department's efforts to apprehend his wife's assailant. Investigators noted that they had never encountered such a level of cooperation in an investigation, leading them to believe that promising leads would soon yield results in identifying the responsible individuals. Key evidence utilized to track down the three suspects included a stolen pink sweater, cell phone records, and an ATM receipt. The receipt and sweater were discovered in a stolen Chrysler Sebring. On November 11, authorities recovered a vehicle that had been utilized during the robberies near the residence of Amanda Blackburn. The debit card referenced in the receipt was confirmed to match Blackburn's stolen card. Investigators secured a warrant to review the ATM surveillance footage, which revealed a driver obscuring his face with a stolen pink sweater. To identify the suspects, police utilized DNA analysis, surveillance video, and witness testimonies. DNA evidence from the sweater established that Jan Watson was among the suspects, marking a significant breakthrough in the investigation, as noted in the affidavit. Cell phone records were obtained, revealing Watson's number was present in the database due to his parole status from a previous burglary. Additionally, records from Diana Gordon's cell phone indicated that both Watson and Gordon were in proximity to the crime scene at the time of the incident. The records further suggested that they were near the Chase Bank where Amanda's debit card was used on the day of the murder. Larry Taylor emerged as a crucial element in the investigation. By analyzing surveillance footage from the vicinity, police successfully identified Taylor's phone number and traced it to his address. In the subsequent days, reports indicated that a firearm had been discovered near the Blackburn residence. A man had brought the gun to the Broad Ripple Fire Department, asserting that he found it outside the couple's home. After 2 weeks of thorough investigation and analysis by crime lab technicians, police charged 18-year-old Larry Taylor and 21-year-old Jan Watson with murder. A third suspect in the burglary case involving Amanda Blackburn, 24-year-old Deano Gordon, was apprehended for a parole violation. However, he was not charged with a felony as he did not enter the Blackburn residence. Following the analysis of crime lab results, a firearm discovered near the victim's home was confirmed to be the weapon used in the crime. All three suspects were taken into custody, and during questioning, Larry Taylor confessed to shooting the victim twice, claiming that he acted out of fear of being scratched when she jumped on him. After she fell, he reportedly leaned over her and shot her in the back of the head, observing her bleed to death. The trio had intended to rob the Blackburn residence, seeking money. They approached the home after the husband had left the front door unlocked while going to the gym. Upon entering, they confronted Amanda, and Taylor struck her with a firearm to incapacitate her. Watson and Gordon, having already stolen bank cards earlier, expressed a desire to leave the scene. They attempted to withdraw $500 from one ATM but were unsuccessful. However, they managed to obtain $1,400 from another, which was captured on CCTV footage. Subsequently, they returned to the Blackburn home to collect Taylor. During their absence, a struggle occurred inside the house. Amanda regained her composure after being struck and lunged at the assailant, leading to a physical confrontation. Afterward, Taylor placed the stolen debit cards in the vehicle of an accomplice who had gone to the ATM during the incident. Upon their return, he confessed to shooting Amanda. According to court documents, the Blackburn residence was the third target of the series of attacks carried out by Taylor on November 10th. During the initial break-in, Watson and Gordon were involved in a theft where the perpetrators took a laptop, a wallet, and a vehicle while the homeowner was asleep. Inside the residence, they realized they were being recorded by a surveillance camera but chose to continue their criminal activities. The group then proceeded to another house, where they gained entry through a patio window and stole 4 televisions, a laptop, jewelry, a bag of oranges, and a pink sweater, which later aided law enforcement in identifying them, according to the affidavit. Court documents detailed the evidence gathered against the suspects, with the most significant being Watson's DNA found on the pink sweater taken during the second burglary. This sweater had been used to obscure his face from the surveillance camera while he attempted to withdraw cash using Amanda Blackburn's bank card. Watson and Gordon agreed to cooperate with the investigation in exchange for reduced sentences. Larry Taylor waived his right to remain silent and confessed to being in proximity to the burglary scene, stating he might have visited the Blackburn neighborhood but was too disoriented to recall specifics. The county prosecutor subsequently filed formal charges against him, which include 13 counts related to the felony of knowingly and willfully causing the death of Amanda Blackburn. Jalen Watson faces felony charges as well, along with multiple counts of burglary, robbery, and theft alongside Taylor. Diana Gordon, who was already in custody for a parole violation, is also facing burglary charges. Additionally, there was a fourth individual who was aware of the robberies and other crimes but did not take part. He was questioned and subsequently released by the Indianapolis Metropolitan Police. The Violent Crimes Unit of the department collaborated with the Gang Unit and federal marshals to apprehend the suspect. Taylor's police chief, Rick Height, commended the teamwork that facilitated the arrest. Detectives dedicated themselves tirelessly throughout the day without rest to resolve the murders occurring in the city, aided by Assistant U.S. Attorney Josh Minkler and Prosecutor Terry Curry. Justice was pursued vigorously, particularly given that the victim was pregnant. Prosecutors indicated they would contemplate filing additional charges concerning the fetus. Despite the disturbing circumstances surrounding the case, including the removal of the woman's underwear and the lifting of her shirt, they stated there was insufficient evidence to substantiate rape charges. Larry Taylor's initial trial commenced in December 2021 but concluded almost immediately when it was revealed that a juror had disclosed case-related information to others, resulting in a mistrial. The subsequent trial took place in October 2022, with a more meticulous jury selection process. The county summoned over 100 potential jurors, each required to complete a 16-page questionnaire to assist attorneys in determining the likelihood of achieving a fair verdict. Larry Joe Taylor received a sentence of 86 years at the Indiana State Correctional Institution for the murder of Amanda Blackburn, along with additional charges stemming from a burglary. Co-defendants Diana Gordon and Jalen Watson entered plea agreements and testified against Taylor during the trial, receiving sentences ranging from 20 to 35 years in prison. Both Jalen Watson and Larry Taylor are currently held at the Marion County Jail. In Indiana, a murder conviction can lead to significant prison time. A person may face a prison sentence ranging from 45 to 60 years, with certain offenses carrying the possibility of life imprisonment or even the death penalty. Prosecutors have submitted a motion to increase Larry Taylor's sentence, which could result in an additional 20 years due to the fact that Amanda Blackburn was pregnant at the time of her alleged murder. Davy Blackburn, the pastor of the church, expressed his relief that those responsible for his wife's death have been apprehended and will no longer pose a threat to others. The impact of Amanda Blackburn's death has been felt by thousands, including the state's chief executive. Her funeral, held at a Christian church, drew over 2,000 attendees, including Governor Mike Pence. The church has established a donation page to assist with Amanda Blackburn's funeral and medical expenses. Davy Blackburn remains hopeful for a judicial system that will demonstrate wisdom in addressing the pain inflicted upon his family. Remarkably, he has consistently stated his decision to forgive those who killed Amanda. "I was very relieved to learn of the arrest," he told reporters. "Although everything inside me wants to hate, be angry, and despair, I choose the path of forgiveness, grace, and hope." The case of Amanda Blackburn has garnered considerable attention nationwide, with coverage in both national and international media. Davy Blackburn has transitioned from a grieving husband to a prominent blogger, leveraging his tragedy to create multiple podcasts and videos titled "Nothing Wasted." He has made appearances on television stations, speaking out about his wife's death and reiterating his message. The anguish he endured and the recounting of the tragedy did not appear to diminish his spirits. Amanda's death not only brought Davy notoriety but also considerable wealth. The insurance payout he received following his wife's passing raises questions about whether he truly forgot to secure the door on that fateful day, November 10, 2015. What are your thoughts on this matter? On March 2, 2016, Davy Blackburn purchased a new 5-bedroom, 4-bathroom residence complete with a pool, subsequently selling the house where Amanda was tragically killed. Despite being perceived as an unhappy husband mourning his beloved, Davy seemed quite content. In July 2016, he shared a photograph of his new home on his blog, expressing his joy about hosting pool parties there. Presently, Davy Blackburn appears to be thriving in his new marriage. Nothing is wasted, serendipity unfolds. Direct your gaze towards Jesus, behold his marvelous presence, and earthly concerns will fade in the brilliance of his glory and grace. Thank you for watching.